Welcome, everybody, to Life in the World to Come. Last episode on Life in the World to Come, how did that fucking episode end? We found ourselves in some kind of mall, in some kind of underground mall, I think, if I'm remembering it correctly, it was some kind of underground mall. So over the past week, we made it out. We got out of the mall, and we found an old Toyota hatchback, and we're driving across New England in it, and it's like a weird. I guess given what we said last time and what we implied, it's some kind where it's like it's like the upside down kind of. It's this weird sort of this sort of stark, empty version of the American Northeast. It's just like we're the only ones in it. It's just me and Will. Actually, no, never mind. We're not the only ones in it. We were attacked. We were attacked by raiders when we got out of the mall, and they cut off Will's tongue. They cut out Will's tongue and his vocal cords, so he can't talk, but he is here. You may think this is a solo episode, but it is in fact not. Will's right here next to me. He's driving the hatchback. I can't drive it because I still have no legs or penis. But listen, we're going on a little tour of America, a tour of this weird upside down empty America full of like raiders and beasts. But there's no internet here. So I don't know how I'm going to upload this, but I did take that cardboard box full of apocalypse questions into the hatchback. So while Will drives us around silently, I'm gonna do the classic stuff, you guys. I'm gonna go through the questions and we're gonna answer them. Fuck, I don't know. I'm recording this at the last second. I got stuck in Vermont. This is ignore this part. Ignore the part where I break the fourth wall. I'm stuck in Vermont, and it's Saturday, and I just gotta get this done, and that's okay. And I should fuck. I don't know. Fuck. This sucks. Okay, just get into it, Chris. God, it's only 3 minutes. This goes so slow when it's just me. Fuck. Okay, no, just do it. Just do it. Stop complaining. Just do it. Okay, our first question. Hi, Chris and Will. A few months ago, I was on a trip to Europe, and my final stop was in Paris. It was really fun. And on the last day, I went on a tiny boat cruise. I went to a tiny boat to cruise a portion of the God. So I'm sure that's the name of like a river in Paris, but I'm not going to attempt it. I'm just not going to attempt it. It doesn't even look that hard to pronounce. It's like a one-syllable word, but like the way that the letters are combined, there's a lot of different ways I could pronounce that, and I'm just not going to, So you gotta, a real man knows when to back down, is what I always say. Anyway, it was really fun on the last day. I went on a tiny boat to cruise a portion of that river. Just last night, I had a dream that I was on a bridge overlooking my own cruise, like I was astral projecting. Next to my boat, I saw a completely black moose standing completely still, floating in the water. It moved forward super quickly and left a trail of dark particles in the air. Somebody next to me in the dream told me it was the scariest moment of their life. Help? Well, the thing you have to understand about dreams is that they're fake, and that usually that they don't mean anything. And I know, and I can kind of hear you saying to yourself, Chris, you're a psychic.
You know, like your whole thing is like interpreting visions from beyond the pale, and that's the thing is like what I experience are visions, like real proper visions. You know, the kind of visions you get from just like huffing gas and taking too many Tylenols. That's not, you know, I'm not talking about dreams here. I'm talking about like full blown, out of body, like psychedelic hallucinations that come to you in the throes of death when you're overdosing on Tylenol. You know? Not just like the things that your brain conjures at night. Just to like because the rest of your body is shut down and like it's still active, so it's just kind of like just sort of, you know, your consciousness is like an engine that like generates reality around you based on external stimuli, and that engine keeps running while the rest of your body is kind of turned off and you're not receiving any external stimuli. So it's just kind of shadows in the darkness. It's just like your brain trying to create a world when it's receiving nothing to create a world out of, and is therefore meaningless. It's just you're just hallucinating your own thoughts. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm touching the edge of death. I am creeping right up to the precipice of oblivion and staring out over the edge of it using Tylenol. And then and only then. Then and only then does the psychomagic enter through my cerebral cortex and whisper to me secrets of things yet to come. Okay? All this is to say that like you don't gotta worry about this dream. Maybe I don't know, maybe you're scared of weird horses. Maybe weird horses are like a real no-go for you. You don't want to be around them. And that's fine, you know? That's reasonable. If I saw a weird horse, I wouldn't want to be around it either. I see a black horse that walks on water, I'd be like, no thank you. That's pretty spooky. So, you know, yeah, I guess, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, again, it's just shadows on the wall. You have nothing to worry about. It didn't mean anything. Unless, and I can't stress this enough, you were dying of a Tylenol overdose while you saw all of this stuff. If that's the case, come back to me again, and, you know, and maybe we can talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, okay. That's one down.
Okay, hey Chris and Will. The world of mathematics is a path in life I am excited to pursue. However, the lingering fear that this path will be cut short by the apocalypse terrifies me. What will happen to mathematics in the world to come? Will my mathematical abilities be of any use? That's from Lydia. Well, Lydia, here's the thing you have to understand about the universe as it exists now. You look around, and you make observations, and you derive information based off those observations. That's how science works. That's how we know everything that we know about our world, right? Things tend to be a way, and so we assume that things are that way, you know? You throw an apple into the air, it comes back down. You take one apple, you add another apple, now you got two apples. And you assume that that's consistent. But who says it's gotta be, you know? Who's to say we haven't just been getting lucky, right? Like, you toss an apple up into the air, you assume it's gonna come back down because it's come back down every time you've ever done it beforehand. But, I feel like that's folly on our part, right? Like, we assume things to be true because they've been true before, but that's like, what is that? Like the fucking hasty generalization fallacy, right? Like, you walk into a town and the first three people in that town that you see are children, so then you just assume that everyone in that town must be a child because the first 3 people you saw were. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? You wouldn't assume that. So why would you assume that 1 + 1 = 2 just because it has seemed to have done that for like 13.8 billion years? You know? Every time that you add 1 and 1, it could equal 3. There's a chance it could equal 3. You don't know. It might equal 3 one of these days. It just hasn't yet, you know, because of luck, right? And so I guess the answer to your question, whether or not it's gonna be any use to you, I don't know. Depends on how lucky you are, on how lucky we all are, you know. You know, every time a second passes, an instant pass, like any time a frame is ticked off in the frame rate of the universe, you get somebody rolls a 20-sided die on how much 2 + 2 equals, and it could be different every time, but it's landed on 2 every time. Untold trillions of times it has landed on 2. It could have not been, but it is every time.
Hey, it's me. I meant to say 4. I know how I understand how math works. I meant to say 4. Also, I guess like when my phone was plugged into my car, it was like recording off some kind of, I don't know, some kind of secret hidden microphone in my car or something. So if like when you notice the quality go up for a second and then go back down, that was me unplugging my phone from my car and then plugging it back into my car. When it's plugged into my car, the audio sounds like shit. I didn't know at the time. There's nothing I can do about it now. It is what it is. Anyway, I meant to say 4. I know what 2 + 2 is. Okay, back to the show.
It just happens to be. So, but does any of this make any sense? This bit made sense in my head, but I feel like it's very abstract. The point is, you know, is math going to be useful? I don't know. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers and hope that 1 + 1 continues to equal 2. Because if not, who knows? You know? Is that something? Sure. Yeah, let's just move on. I don't know. This one was I don't know. This one was too abstract. All right, next question. Hiya. I have a lot of trouble with procrastination, whether it's issues of motivation or time management. I just can't seem to get things done. I've tried everything. In the world to come, what will procrastination look like, and how can we fix it? Well, let me tell you, it's going to be a lot easier to keep yourself motivated when you got the Shadow Man on your tail. You know that scary guy who stands on your chest during your sleep paralysis hallucinations? That wasn't a hallucination. That was an actual scary guy. He was just biding his time, waiting for society to transition into something a little bit more conducive to his whole deal. His whole deal being just chasing you. Just running after you as fast as he can, trying to get you. And I feel like I say this a lot, but that's kind of the beautiful, clarifying thing about the apocalypse, is because, you know, the nice thing about spending your days being chased through the desert by the Shadow Man is that there's less to focus on. You know, your life it clarifies down. It gets distilled into this very specific set of goals, which just keep moving. Keep moving, keep walking, keep on trudging through the endless desert, because if you stop for even the second, the Shadow Man will gain on you. And who knows what he's going to do when he catches up. So, like, you know, next time you're worried a little bit too much about procrastination, you got some homework to do, and you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to play my PS2 instead. Just look over your shoulder and imagine just imagine the Shadow Man just sprinting at you at a full tilt, just coming, you know, just fucking coming towards you, fast. and that and I feel like and you know and just replace in your head replace running with doing homework. You know, like the deadline of whatever project you're working on. That's the shadow man. You have to make sure that deadline doesn't catch up. Is this good? I've got to stop asking that, Chris. Have a little fucking confidence. Fuck. Okay, next question. So I get just to kind of follow up and kind of wrap this one up with a nice little bow. I think what you got to do in order to kind of keep yourself from procrastinating too much, raise the stakes. I think that's the issue. Is that right now, like, yeah, you know, you've got homework to do, but you just don't care enough whether you get that homework done. It's just not a priority. So, you know, kind of turn your homework into kind of like a sword of Damocles situation. Maybe literally. Could make some kind of like a construct some kind of Rube Goldberg-esque device where there's like a literal blade hanging above your head and you're strapped into your chair. And only when you complete your homework, you have like a guy in like a black hood with a big axe with the sword. Never mind, the sword isn't held up. There's like a huge 7 foot tall, muscle bound guy in a black hood with a fucking big sword, a big ass sword, and he's standing next to your desk that you are strapped into, and there's an hourglass on your desk, and if that hourglass runs out before you finish your homework, the sword comes down. That's this guy's job. He's fucking locked in, fucking sword leveled above your neck, his eyes fixed on that hourglass. And the second that final grain of sand comes through, that sword's coming down. Unless you can prove to him that you understand algebra. So yeah, you know, that all I'm saying here is you gotta take something that is not a priority and force it to be a priority. Construct a situation where you have to take this thing seriously, because you know that you're not going to if you don't, right? So, like, hire a 7 foot guy, a strong 7 foot guy, preferably one who doesn't talk much, you know? Maybe because of some kind of developmental thing. He just doesn't, you know? It's like a weird sort of like a guy that only exists in like dark fantasy novels, that guy. And pay him to help you get your homework done. Alright. Okay. Next. Alright. Okay. Hiya, I've had a lot of... Wait, no, this is the one I literally just read. This is the one I literally just read. You really don't want to have to edit this, Chris. Get it together. Okay. Dear boys in the pit, we got out. We're fine. We're in a hatchback. We're driving across a spooky upside down version of the Northeast. But that was it. You can't edit this, Chris. You can't. I mean, you could edit it, but you don't have time. Fucking get it together. Okay, dear boys in the pit. It is currently Pride Month. Will there be any other themed months after the event? All right, Chris. This is a delicate one. But you can thread the needle. You can thread it. It'll be fine. Just fucking, you got this. Okay. So, there will be Shame Month. Shame Month will be a big one. There's gonna be 3 months a year after the event, and one of them is Shame Month. And let's be clear, a year takes the same amount of time. It's still 365 days, but 1/3 of that is going to be Shame Month. And And I feel like what that is pretty self-evident, and I don't have to get into it. Wait, am I even recording right now? Yes, okay, yeah. The shame month. That's the one where where shame month is where you start to feel insecure about your straight. Is a month for feeling insecure about your straightness. You know, shame month is a month where you're like, have I spent my whole life kind of trapped, confined within like these bounds that I've set for myself sexually? You know, look back on the years you spent never even considering what it would be like to kiss a boy if you're a boy, or a girl if you're a girl. Never even considering that idea, and be like, God, the wasted years. You know, shame month is a month dedicated almost entirely to just quiet regret about the fact that you didn't live your life to the extent that you feel like maybe you could have, that you never tried things that you maybe wanted to try. Is this funny? I really tried to toe the line and do a gay pride joke that doesn't make fun of gay people at all. And I feel like I did that, but I don't know if what it was funny though. You know? Like, I was so focused on making sure that like everybody had a good time that I didn't put enough focus into like actually making the party fun. You know what I mean? Like, nobody hates this party, but like, I don't know, did anyone like it? So that's shame month. You know, it's a month it's not about straight guilt. I want to be very clear about this. It's not about being straight and being like, oh, I'm so, like, I've thinking about all like the gay people that you've mistreated. It's not about that. You know, it's not even really about straight shame. It's not about being ashamed of your straightness. You know, it's about being ashamed that you weren't the person you could have been, right? That you held yourself back due to societal expectations. You know, it's not that you wish you were gay. It's that you wish you had tried being bi a little bit. Because after the event, we're all going to be the same. Like, we won't need gay pride after the event, because after the event, the genders are going to get all shuffled about, scrambled up, to an extent where like there are arguably so many different genders that gender stops like being a thing anybody think. Like, we don't even think of ourselves as having genders. Our genders are all going to be so different. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna look between your legs, and it's like, I don't know if that's like you're gonna look between your legs and not be able to understand if what you're looking at is a penis or a vagina. It's gonna be incomprehensible. So if you fuck a guy, maybe you're gay. I don't know. You're not even gonna be sure if what you just fucked was a guy. The thing that was between that thing's legs was also very confusing, but in a very different way from yours. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's the thing. So, like, that's the thing. You have sex with somebody. It might be gay, but honestly, it's still going to feel pretty straight. Because you're like, whatever this thing is, it's not what I am. You know? So, in a way, it's like, it's going to be, in a weird way, everyone's going to be gay. Because they're all going to be you're all going to be the same gender. But that gender is going to be different from everybody else. So, everyone's going to be straight. So to be clear, everyone's going to be gay and straight at the same time. And there is going to be a month for that, you know. There's going to be a month for that as well, but also a month for just kind of being like, God damn, I didn't take advantage of the fact that it's fucking a whole topsy turvy out here. Does all of that make sense consistently? Does everything I just said track with everything I just said? It doesn't matter. It's never mattered. Okay. That's. I feel like I've spent enough time on this one. I feel like I've spent exactly enough time, the amount of time on this one that is safe for me. So next one.
Okay, dear Chris and Will, next Sunday I am going to a wedding where the bride is asking everyone to wear white because she thinks it's very funny. Which makes me think though, what will be wedding colors in the world to come? With regards, Atlas. Well, listen. Uh, First thing, I mean, I guess my first thought is that your friend isn't very funny. Like, I sort of get what I sort of get what she's going for, because like, yeah, like it is unsettling, I suppose. But it's also like it's unsettling in like this like, or I don't know, maybe your friend is very funny, because like it's that's the interesting thing about this situation, is that it's unsettling in like a strange kind of uncanny valley kind of way. Like it's all like, if you were to show me a picture of a wedding where everyone in that wedding is wearing white, I would be unsettled, but I would not be unsettled. Like I wouldn't be able to know. I wouldn't know why. I wouldn't know why I was unsettled. Like I would just look at that picture and be like, there's some, like, this is, I would look at the picture and my brain would go, this is a standard wedding photo. And I would have to look at it for like, I think a solid 15 seconds before I understood why that photo made me uncomfortable. Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know, like it's kind of like it's that, and I think that's the problem, right? Is that like the bit doesn't have enough punch to it. Like it's not ha funny. Like if you were all wearing, I don't know, pink, like that would be a little funnier, I guess, because it's like a non-standard wedding color. Still wouldn't be that funny, but like it's, I would immediately, I would like notice it. Like it's a bit that like you look at it and you're like, oh, this is a bit, right? That's the thing, is that like the thing is, like, it doesn't read as a bit. It reads as just like this weird, like, obsessive compulsive aesthetic choice that your friend wants. Like they just want like a white wedding. And I'm not even gonna touch the racial undertones here. Like I'm not even a skin color thing. Like you just like you see you see that many people dressed well in white, and you're like, these are racists. Like that's just you feel that immediately. So this is, I'm getting a lot of very strong specific vibes from this friend. And I don't know if I like any of them. Like this could all be innocent, but it, like that's the thing. All of this could be innocent, but it also could all not be. Like this could just be like a weird bit that isn't that funny, or your friend is like a tyrant who like needs her wedding to look a very specific way, but is also like, probably like a zoomer. So it's like uncool to like be tense or take things seriously. So they have to be like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we all wore white? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be funny if we followed this incredibly specific aesthetic thing that I wanted to do? Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah. Anyway, but like that wasn't your question. Your question is what colors people will be wearing, and the answer to that is flesh. Is flesh colored. It's going to be mostly nude, I think. A lot of stuff is probably going to be done nude. Not everything, but weddings, I think, for sure. You know, because it's a primal thing. This is like we're mating for life, and the emphasis here is on the mating part. All your friends are going to come together to watch you consummate live, Dothraki style. And yes, there will be beheadings. So I guess like like kind of like skin. I almost said beige, and that would have been racist of me. Skin color, just skin color in general, and then red, for the beheadings. And whatever color like the fluids are from the public sex. They might be, I don't, who knows what fluids. Who knows what kind of fluids? As I said earlier, both primary and secondary sexual organs are going to be very confusing to look at, and they're probably going to do different stuff than they do now. I'm going to move. I'm currently parked in a playground while I'm doing this one, and that's no good. I can't be doing that. Gotta get out of here right now. Right now. Answering this kind of question like this? No, can't be doing this here. So, is there anything else I have to say about this? I somehow managed to make this one gross and racially charged in a way that it does not benefit me at all. So, yeah, I guess this one's done. I guess this question's over. I was hoping to milk a little bit more from it, but let's move on. Bonjour, Codsworth and Lumiere. One of these days, cause, here's the thing. You guys always choose... Anytime you choose names for us, most of the time it's like a skinny-coated one and a fat-coated one. And eventually I'm going to be offended. Eventually. Not yet. I don't care yet. But one of these days, all those grains of sand are going to become a beach. And I'm not going to appreciate it anymore, okay? I know Cogsworth isn't fat, but you put him next to Lumiere, and it's clear what you're doing here, okay? And to be clear, I don't care but one day I suddenly will, and you better hope it's not you who fucking puts that last straw on my camel's back. Anyway, I've recently been diagnosed with bipolar and got meds for it, and it got me wondering, what will happen to prescription medication in the world to come? That's an excellent question. Listen, and I feel like I've touched on this in ways before, but here's the thing. Your medication is designed to help you live in the world that you live in, right? You know? It's the purpose of it is to kind of push your brain in a direction that makes it easier for you to interact with the rest of society. That's kind of what it's all about. But once that society breaks down, not really necessary anymore. And a lot of the stuff that medication is kind of pushing you away from, you kind of want to lean into that. You want to be manic. You don't even want to be bipolar. You want to push it further. You want to go as deep down the rabbit hole of mental illness as you possibly can. Just kind of just run around foaming at the mouth. Fucking just rabid, feral. And will you be happy? No. No, you won't be. You know? But bipolar is one thing. So let's say you're depressed. You're trying to get some Lexapro. No, you won't get that. You're not going to be getting your Lexapro, and you are going to be sad. But you know what else feels bad? Breathing. Because of all the ash in the air. You know? No part of the experience is going to be comfortable. So it's just yeah, you're going to be manically vacillating between, high points and low points. But if you can kind of pattern that rhythm correctly, just make sure, just try to make it so that you hit your high points during the bad parts of your life and the low points during the good parts of your life, and it all kind of evens out. It's this nice sort of standard thing, I guess. Yeah, I keep wandering into areas on this episode that I'm is any of this okay? Is this, I don't know. Is this fine? Listen, you're not going to throw away your meds. You're not going to need them. Actually, no, don't throw, you do need your meds now. I want to be, okay, let's be very clear about what I'm saying. You do need your meds now because you live in a world with a structure to it. But once that world doesn't have a structure, what's the fucking point of keeping yourself on the chain? You know what I mean? It's not going to benefit you to be more reasonable. You're going to want to be unreasonable. You're going to want to fucking fly off the handle at the slightest provocation. It's fucking prison rules everywhere 24/7, you know? If you're the kind of that's what I'm talking about, right? If you're the kind of person who is liable to flip out and stab a guy, right? That's bad now. That's not going to serve you good now. You don't want that these days. After the event, very different story. You don't want anyone thinking you're weak, you know? This idea you have in your head that if anyone threatens you, you have to, stab them right away. That's good after the event. You want that. That's strong. That's strength. You know, that's power. You know? Stability is weakness.
Or at least stability is trying to maintain stability in an unstable world is weakness, right? All these pauses are just like, is this fine? Is this fine? You really don't believe in what you're saying right now, Chris. Is all of this okay? Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. We're fucking 34 minutes in. We only got to do like 2 or 3 more of these because it's a solo episode. It's fine. Relax. You're getting it done. Fucking, it's fine. Is that it? Is this? Am I fucking done with this question already? I might be. I can't. Yeah. No. I think moving on. Next question. Hey, Mom and Dad, will I still be able to drink instant chicken broth like it's tea but savory? Yes, you absolutely fucking will, you beautiful son of a bitch. God, I'm so glad that you're fucking out there doing this shit, because somebody has to. There aren't enough people out there fighting the good fight, drinking things that aren't traditionally drank out of mugs. Like, somebody has to be doing this shit. Somebody has to fucking pave the way. Somebody has to be, like, sitting in a room drinking chicken broth out of a mug, like a cup of tea. Somebody has to do that so that 20 years from now, I can finally drink a mug of gravy, like I've been dreaming about doing since I was but a boy. Since I was a boy, all I've ever truly wanted out of life is to just drink a cup of gravy. Just fucking gulp it down like a delicious mug of hot cocoa. But savory. You get it. But savory. It's all I want. It's all I need. And I've been too cowardly to do it. And I think what I need is someone like you out there paving the way, trailblazing, a fucking pioneer. You know, you do the walking of drinking chicken broth so that I can fly on the wings of gravy. God, a fucking 21 gun salute for this motherfucker. You're really out there doing what needs to be done. God, thank you. Thank you. All right. Hello. Social media has been really pissing me off lately, and I was wondering, what will social media be like in the world to come? Will there be new ways to post and interact with others, or will it all disappear? Thanks. It's listen, there's gonna be ways to share your opinions and interact with others. It's called and they're called fucking liberty and justice. You guys can't tell because this is an audio medium, but I held out both of my fists as if to imply that my fists are named liberty and justice. It's gonna be your fists. It's gonna be mostly. It's gonna be kind of body language express. Like, it's gonna be fucking back to basics, baby. You don't like what somebody has to say about the current political situation? Fucking go to their house. You know? You want to tell someone that they're a fucking knob? Scream it at them. Get in their face about it. Slap them across the jaw and call them a knob. You know? You want likes? How about fucking knife wounds? That's what a dislike's gonna look like in the world to come. You fucking idiot. Fuck you. You're gonna get stabbed as a way of people, as a way to show that people don't like the thing that you just said. It is a perfect one-to-one, you know? See that? Okay, that's what we're talking about here. If you'll notice what the pattern that a lot of these questions go by is that I just kind of do word salad for about 30 seconds until I figure out what the point of whatever it is I'm trying to say is, and then I answer the question. So, like the fucking it's social media. All it is it's face-to-face interaction abstracted. So you take all the stuff that you would normally get in a face-to-face interaction and abstract it. You just, you know, the main, so like society is going to be exactly what it's always been, just with that layer of abstraction disappeared. You know, I said before, I say it again, you don't like something, you're not going to give it a little thumbs down, you're going to give them a stab. And you're going to be able to look at a post and know immediately whether or not people liked or disliked that post, given the number of stab wounds. If you do like it, you give them a little kiss. You put on lipstick, you give a little kiss. So you're going to be able to look at somebody and see, like, oh, you're going to be able to count up the little kisses versus stab wounds. And that's how you get your like to dislike ratio. Anyway, this one sucks. Okay, let's end on a different one. That's the next question. Hi, Chris and Will. For me, sunscreen is a big deal. How should we take care of our skin in the world to come once the sun gets to own a gun? It's not worth it. It's just not. It's not worth it. Don't like. There's fucking the idea that like any kind of like topographical cream is going to do anything. Is going to have any effect whatsoever against the sun's rays is, you know. I'd say it was funny, but you don't see me laughing. You know what I mean? It's very serious. Just don't bother going outside, I think. You know, if you're like me, if you're of like kind of vaguely Irish descent, you know, if you've got that sort of that Celtic skin, just don't go out. Stay in. You know? You weren't built for this. Maybe go underground, I'm thinking. It's not very funny, but it is practical. There's a lot of pressure for this last question to be funny, because it is the last question. It has to be the last question. I've been driving around now for about, I'm going to say, I've got about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes of content. I've been driving around for about 2 hours. Burned through about a quarter tank of gas. So this episode's getting expensive. And this needs to be, so we're ending it here, and this needs to be funny. Cover yourself in fucking jizz. Jizz is gonna have sunscreen properties. It's gonna fucking do that. That's a joke. That's funny. Jizz is funny. This sucks. God, the only thing worse than not thinking of like a funny thing to say to end the podcast is the only thing worse than ending the podcast on an unfunny jizz joke is trying to ironically end the podcast on an unfunny jizz joke. You're a fucking coward, Chris. You know, you fucking do a good joke. End the podcast with a good joke. It can't be this. It simply can't. This can't be how the podcast ends. That would be. I mean, that's no good at all. It's got to be good. It has to end on a fucking shebang, on a fucking kapow. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're just saying words now. You're just saying words. Because you left the fucking recording app on your phone and you don't want to go back to it to press pause. Is this in? Is any of this? It's all in. I'm not editing this one. I'm just simply not editing it. So all this is in. Thanks everybody for listening to Life in the World to Come. We're probably going to be back in our actual studio next week, so that's good. And we're going to get back to the incredibly consistent content, the profoundly like formulaic and like, you know, and like the same episode to episode experience that you've been used to up until this point. But we're getting back to it. It's going to be regular episodes again, and that's going to be good. You don't have to put up with like fucking weird bullshit because I don't know. We left the studio for a month and just felt the need to Everything had to be fucking weird and stuff. I don't know. Fuck. You really shouldn't keep this take. This whole take has been bad. Ever since I last pressed the record button, it's all been bad, and I shouldn't include this. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All I care about is that when people look at this episode on Podbean, that it says that it's more than 50 minutes long. That's all I want. That's all I want. It doesn't need to be good. It doesn't need to make any internal sense. It just needs to take up a certain amount of space. Did I say 50 minutes just now? Fuck, I meant 40. That means I have no. Yeah, no, fuck it. No, we're done. This one's over. If you like the, if you enjoy, if you for some reason still like this podcast, you can support it by going to patreon.com/lifeintheworldtocome. You can get our $5 tier, which gives you access to the unedited version of this podcast. There won't be one for this one. This is straight. This is pure. This one is pure. You're getting this one exactly as it came out. But normally that's not how we do it. Normally we cut out anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour of content. You can find that on the uncharismatic edition at patreon.com/lifeintheworldtocome. And if you'd like to pay an extra $5 more, you can get Revelator, which is our oh God, what the fuck is Revelator? You gotta fucking figure out how to describe what Revelator is. It's a novel. It's an audiobook where I take the premises from this podcast seriously. Oh God, okay, yeah, I'm not going to advertise Revelator on the main thing until I figure out how to talk about it. Okay, anyway, so you can get that for an extra $5, and then you can also buy our merch at lifeintheworldtocome.bigcartel.com. And yeah, our intro and outro music is "We Are the Hellhounds" by the Taxpayers. Thanks again. Thanks for putting up with these last couple of weeks. I feel like these last couple of episodes have been fun. They've been different. They've been probably pretty confusing for new listeners, but they've been there. And I think they've been a fun time for all involved, I guess. But if they haven't been, then don't worry. We're going back to normal soon after this one. Probably. What if we don't? What if something insane happens and it has to be another weird one after this? I hope that's not the case, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I don't want to end it. I feel like it's been bad and I don't want to end it. Like, what do I? Okay. What's a button? What's a button I can end it on? Fuck.